Welcome back, everybody, to the second day of the Intel Extreme Masters Taipei Open
Second
Bracket.
day.
First,
You what?
first day, second group, Nate.
I was gonna say
You don't even let me correct myself
time
anymore.
time flies in esports, but man, if we were on day 2 already,
I wouldn't like it. I prefer always looking forward and having a lot ahead of us than when you're like really deep into it already and you know that you're getting close to the end.
it's like anything good in life that's like
Building up is way more fun
Yeah.
than seeing the end.
It's like when you it's like when you open your bag of treats, it's like you're like, man, I've got so much to look forward to. And when you're at the end, you're like, I regret this.
No, when I eat 6, it's already like, all right, I should stop. I can't stop. I can't stop.
It
It's
feels,
like, I had a
it
few
feels
too
much
many.
better when you're just opening the package.
Yes. When the first smell reaches your ear.
Yes.
And the smell of roaches is in the air for this one, as we are loaded into our third series of the day. And this is going to be, well, a Roach Festival for the ages. This is a classic, an absolute rivalry between Cooler Master Storm Revival, who is our Blue Zerg spawning on the right top side of the map, as he's going up against his friend, his fellow Roacher, his Roach buddy, his Roach comrade, his Roach brother for life. It is Hyun. Hey, did I tell you the story about me playing Korean ladder and running into Hyun?
Really?
Yeah.
Was he the real Hyun?
Yeah, it was the real Hyun.
Did you get tracked?
It was really funny because I started and I scouted. I was like, maybe it's not the real Hyun, guys. And then some people say like, no. I looked at his history, it's the real Hyun. I was like, nah, I don't think so. And then he's like bailing busting me and I sort of survived. And then he bailing bust me again and I sort of survived. I was like, nah, guys, I don't think that this is the real Hyun. Because I was actually thinking I was winning this game because I was holding the bailing bust. And then suddenly I look at my rocks and there are like 28 Hydras shooting at the rocks.
Oh,
and,
man.
And I just look up at my camera on my stream. I was like, I think it's the real Hyun, guys. And then after the game, he tweets, ha ha ha, sorry, Kevin. I love you.
Roasting pepperoni.
I was like, damn it, Hyun, stealing my ladder points. Anyways, as we see, he is opening up with a spawning pool and an extractor going down. While Revival, oh man, Revival has not changed. I remember, wasn't that with you, Nate, that we casted like 6 or 8 ZVZs in a row from Revival. He was going gasless openings every single game and he lost all of them and he still kept trying. I think it was that I casted that with you. I think it was an IAM somewhere.
Maybe.
It could have been Mr. Bitter as well, but I think it was you.
Wow, you can't tell the difference just anymore?
No, I love you both so much.
Aww.
Hey, that's a good thing, man. If you want to be anyone, if you want to be confused with anyone.
If I want to be confused with anyone, being confused with Mr. Bitter is not a bad one.
No, that's no.
I hope he's tuning in.
I don't think so. He's probably playing Smash Bros. Nate.
Dream. So Hyun gets this gas, and yeah, nothing super crazy just yet. I mean, Hyun might open speed, but he is a roacher himself.
I'm convinced right now that this was indeed the Revival that we watched back then, and I think he played multiple times against Hyun, and Hyun was just always able to find a cheeky opening with speed openings, whether it was soon or a little bit later. He was just able to surprise, and he really played into the immobility that Revival put himself in early on. And we'll see. I'm sure that Hyun still remembers that series, and I'm still sure that Revival still remembers it as well, even though Revival ZVZ looked very solid against Dongdaegu. He only lost on Catalina, and that game, that's the type of game that we don't have to look into too much. That's the type of game that even my Zerg could have won, as long as you get away with selling the story. Of course, the drone transfer by DIG was cute and all, but it wasn't really that Revival got absolutely outplayed. He just misread the situation a little bit, and that was the end. Died against an all-in.
Yeah, well, those are kind of cool plays, they make the difference. Hyun is starting to pocket up a serious amount of Zerglings, and it's really important that he blocks Revival from seeing this.
Look at that drone. The drone is like, guys.
Okay. So he doesn't see all the Lings finishing. If that Ling makes it to the left side of the main and sees all those Zerglings hatch, that's when the alarm bells start ringing.
Yeah, this is basically DRG versus Revival all over again. The game that I just mentioned, the game on Catalina. This time this is Overgrowth. I think it should be a little bit easier for Revival. He drops the Creep Tumor. He's going to be able to get the wall off soon. He needs to start throwing down buildings. The Spine Crawler would be awesome. The only good thing here as well is that I feel that this ramp is a little bit closer to the hedge. While the Zerglings have revealed themselves, they are running across the map. Revival's like, alright, here we go again. This time, Nate, he's going to get a wall off with the 3 queens. And is that wall off going to live?
There's a lot of surface area available on this Roach Horn. He's going to try to bust it down, and he will. Gets inside, gets his run on top of the first queen up front. Then going to go for the second one. 2 queens killed. The third one is very vulnerable in Revival.
I feel like it's all Ogre again.
Yeah, you got to, when you're playing against a strategy like this that relies on scouting, and you're not prepared for it, you're not 100% ready, you can get...
Actually, this time it's not all. There are a lot of Zerglings running across the map, but if he's able to get the wall off one more time, he sort of gets it. That Queen is in a really awkward position though. But drones and Zerglings on either side now.
Oh, this is just like, it's hard to watch.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on.
Everything's like clipping into each other because there's so many units here.
I see a lot of low HP drones, so good micro by Revival, but
the
still.
The wall is still open, so Hyun
yeah.
continues to spill into Revival's base. He's picking everything off, and yeah, like I said, this is one of those top deck builds.
Yep, still speed against no speed as well. All these Zerglings are going to run into the main base, and it is indeed all Ogre this time as well. There is no way that Revival is going to have an answer to these 20 or so Zerglings that are in his main base. As GG is called, and Hyun takes a very quick and easy victory on Overgrowth. Like I said, man, Hyun used to always take advantage. Like I love the first series that Revival played. If it wasn't for the fact that his opening was pretty much the same 3 games in a row. There was one game I think on Catalina where he did drop the gas a little bit quicker than he did in previous games. But he has done this a lot in the past as well. His CVZ can be very predictable, and that is fine your first series and maybe even your second series. But eventually, people will really take advantage of you.
You can't just do the same thing every game.
No. Even though, you know, I also don't want to be that guy that's like pretended that he has figured it out right now, because we're only talking, you know, 3 games and twice he's getting kind of unlucky. So far he's 2-2 in maps, and both the games he lost. If he has the queens, you know, a split second earlier. Or
also, like looking at
spine.
looking at where he built the follow-up evolution chambers. Like I don't know if he misplaced it or if it's just not possible to have him block off like that.
I think it is possible, but I think it was just a little bit of madness because the link slipped in between 2 queens. I don't want to overanalyze it, and I'm not going to sit here and say like, all right, Revival, you have to do a different opening. Like I'm not saying that.
Revival has to go 6 pool now with drones and maybe a spine.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
6 Zerglings.
Well met.
Alright, we're getting ready to hop into game number 2 on Catalina. Curious to see what Hyun's approach is going to be, and if Revival is going to switch it up, or if it's going to be a gasless Revival once again. As he is representing Cooler Master Storm, spawning in the right bottom side of the map. Like, I hate what I actually just did. Like, I just pretended that Revival went, you know, gasless 17 games in a row and that it didn't work for the last 6. That's not what I was trying to say, but I just think that, you know, Hyun, of course, the Red Zerg, spawning on the top side of Catalina, he's one of the smartest players in the world. You know, he may not be mechanically the most impressive player out there, but he has played so many tournaments. He has so much experience, you know. We've been over it over and over again, all the jokes about Hyun attending pretty much every single tournament ever. He knows how to read an opponent. He knows how to read a certain playstyle. You can be predictable against this guy, man. If you want to beat him, you're going to have to beat him just very straight up. You're going to have to outplay him, and then you can beat him. The way that Innovation beat him, you know, in the BlizzCon round of 16, for instance. Just no shenanigans. Just play. Don't try to outsmart Hyun, though, because that's where it's going to often backfire.
I can't disagree with you there, Kev. It's a tough spot to be in. Like, he's so solid, so consistent, so Hyun.
It just sounded like you were confessing your love to him.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
You went on a little monologue there. He's just
I don't think so,
so
Kev.
incredibly handsome. So
I'm a fan of Hyun. What can I say?
yeah. Well, he's a good guy to be a fan of. He's one of the most cheerful dudes. You know, often people wonder if the personality they see of players, if that represents their personality in real life as well, if they truly are like that. Whenever you see Hyun on camera, he's pretty much always smiling, and that's the way this guy is, man. He's a happy little fellow. I would be happy as well if I won as much money as he did in his career. I'm not going to lie. He's travel around the world, be an awesome nerd, win all these tournaments, but he's really cool. He's super nice, super friendly, always cheerful, loves the game that he's playing, loves the community. 10-10 in my book, Nate.
Yeah, I've always been a big fan of him, and
me too. I was actually, you won't believe this, but I was on the Hyun bandwagon way before he ever won anything. I was on the bandwagon when he was winning Go for StarCraft 2. It's a true story.
I was on the Hyun bandwagon just because I thought it was cool that I got to play against him in Playhems every other day and get wrecked.
Playhems and Go for it.
You know,
that was the start.
People talk about it, right? You know, these guys win all these like online cups and whatnot, but there needs to be cannon fodder for them to actually win them.
You were cannon fodder?
I have been roach banelinged by Hyun more times than I care to mention, or than I can remember even. I'm traumatized, actually.
Did you run into him so many times?
I used to run into Hyun.
Or Revival. Or Violet.
No, there was somebody else. There was someone else that actually used to play in a lot of the online ones. I don't think plays too much anymore. No. I'm pretty sure the Zerg I'm thinking of is retired. But
Was he a Korean Zerg?
Yeah, there was another Korean Zerg that was in all of them. There's one Protoss as well. I can't remember. There was a TSL Protoss that doesn't play anymore. Always wrecked.
I know that, Violet, Hyun and Revival, they were the kings of the online cups. Like, they have won so many playhouse.
I feel like I haven't played Revival. Maybe once.
Revival often won the Zotex, I think, and then Hyun won the Go for Soccer 2. They had a mutual agreement.
It's like, well, it's like American internet companies, man. It's like, you take this half, this half, these ones are mine.
No, that's pretty much how it went. Nurture was often trying to accept one or the other and then try to win a cup here and there, but those were the good old days of online StarCraft with the European tournaments. It was fun to cast the rise of Hyun. Anyway, let's take a look at the opening. 25 drones against 24. Everything is relatively even.
Yeah, Hyun's opened up with the same kind of speed style as the last game, except he hasn't pocketed a million Zerglings to kill him.
And look what we have this time.
Spine Crawler.
Of course, it's not the end of the world making one spine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It really doesn't hurt your economy all that much, but it's the small things there where we can just see that Hyun has, a minor mind game advantage so far. He's into Revival's head a little bit.
Yeah, well, Revival is going to start that Roach-Horn in the Evolution Chamber, which I think we could have predicted if we were blindfolded and not shown any part of this game.
I mean, then again, Nate, we do
did
predict.
He cancel that Baneling Nest? Yeah, he canceled it. Okay.
Hyun
had a Baneling Nest on the way.
Yeah, I saw it.
And he was like, nope, don't need it. My opponent's going Roaches. I don't need it. His Overlord saw the Roach-Horn at the wall, I believe.
You know the song like We Don't Need No Education? You should re-sing it into We Don't Need No Baneling Nest. I think it would sound great. I'll jam out to it.
Yeah.
If you're on my side, Nate, I'll jam out to it.
I can jam out to anything with you, Robbie.
+1 missile attacks are on the way for Revival, so far everything is pretty much the same of what we have seen from him before. I like Hyun already going up to 3 bases. I'm very curious to see when Revival goes up to 3 bases. I still felt in that series against Dongregul he was able to go up to 3 bases a little bit too easy. I felt if Dongregul made a few more Zerglings a little bit earlier, he delays that hatchery for much longer. I just felt like he kind of handed it to Revival. He's like, yeah, alright, what do you have? Queens and 2 Roaches? Yeah, sure, you go up to 3 bases as well. It's like, no, you're the Speedling player over here, mate. Make it tricky. Of course you can say, by not making those Zerglings he has a better economy, but I still think making those Zerglings and denying that 3rd hatchery from going up is completely worth it.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like, the Roaches are coming out now, and it's not a big deal, right? Because this hatchery is still later than Hyun's Hyun's 3rd, which that's really, you can't ask for much more than that. And Hyun's already moving his drones over, especially on a map like this where the 3rd base is kind of, it's not as out there as on like Expedition Lost, but it's a little bit. It's not quite as tucked in as say Overgrowth.
I would say it's pretty wide open because there are multiple ways you can run away. You can run there, you can run this ramp, or you can use this ramp. So it's definitely an annoying one to defend, especially if you play PvZ.
I like that both players actually spread creep with the Overlords to help secure the bases a little bit faster.
Yeah, I mean, this was still, like you said, like this hatch was not too much later, but it was still, I felt, a lot better for Hyun than it was for Dongregul. I felt in the games with Dongregul, they went up to 3 bases pretty much at the same moment, which was just weird to me. And this time you could clearly see that this hatchery was 60 to 70 seconds quicker. So even though Hyun didn't really make all those Zerglings trying to deny that hatchery from going up, it was still quite a bit quicker. And now he's just making Roaches, the same thing as Revival is doing. I guess the only thing that Revival has going for himself is that he does have that +1 missile attacks upgrade ready.
Very, very important in this game. And Hyun, he has his +1 attack coming in, so there'll be a brief moment. Well, I mean, not too brief, where they're even on upgrades. But that Carapace, man, it's a big deal. It's hard to stress when you're playing around with Roach versus Roach when it's all the same units. Each upgrade is, potentially hundreds of hit points worth of damage saved against.
Well, Nate, we promised the viewer a Roach party, and in game number 1 we lied. Not a single Roach was seen. This game, however, lots of Roaches are seen, and lots of Roaches will be seen. Lots of Roaches will die, and lots of Roaches will rise.
And lots of Roaches may cry.
I don't know why the Roach would cry, huh? If I was the Roach, I wouldn't cry.
Do you think Roaches have tear ducts?
No, man.
Or they just drink the tears of their enemies?
Roaches are dirty units.
Roaches are like, they're the units that's either Like, you don't make roaches and like trade with roaches. You know, if you've ever like seen PvZ, like a ZVT, it's always like the roaches either completely Shrek you or you wreck the roaches
Yeah,
and then you just win the game.
It's very weird how that works.
That was I've been playing around quite a bit of Zerg lately. And I had like this game against the Terran where I was like, let's try this 1-1 roach push. And then I went to attack him and I saw he had 1-1. He had like 20 Marines, Medivacs, Hellbats, and I was like, my 1-1 is done. I'm like, what would Hyun do? I just attacked him and I like completely annihilated him. Like, man,
really?
roaches seem so good. Next game, did it. The guy had like 3 extra Marauders and I cried. Like, it wasn't even close.
And your roaches cried as well.
Yeah, well, like I said, they don't have tear ducts, so I had to do all the crying for them.
You cried for all 56 roaches, Nate?
I cried for all 56 roaches.
So that's why you felt so dehydrated the other day.
Yeah, yes, that's why.
Alright, anyway, Revival's running across the map. It's 136 army supply. It was a little bit of Contaminate being used as well, so his upgrade is still just 1-0. Hyun is on 1-0 as well. I like the initial spread over here by Hyun, but he does have to reposition a bunch of units. Revival's still up in supply, but let's not forget that all these roaches have to run across the map, Nate.
Yeah, what's really important to note is that Hyun had actually delayed the +1 Carapace for finishing for Revival prior to this fight, which is why it's so close, because I feel like with that upgrade, he has a big advantage. And now Hyun brings his queens out, he's got extra transfuses for these roaches. Revival, though, seeming like he's starting to snowball this battle.
Yeah, but just when you say that, that's what always happens, Nate. More roaches stream in from the defensive player, and I think Hyun will be able to push it back for now. These queens helping out so much. Good micro there as well by Hyun. He's going to clean it up for now. He's going to pick up a bunch of queens of Revival, and despite having inferior upgrades for at least the later part of that battle, Hyun was able to hang in there. I just feel defender's advantage, you know, in this matchup. Like, you were completely right when you said like it really looked like Revival was winning, and he was. It's just that all the roaches that Hyun was producing, they popped at the right time.
I actually think that Revival rolls that engagement if the contamination isn't used on his +1 Carapace.
Yeah, I think you make a good point there.
The Carapace upgrade finished pretty much when Hyun was getting his rallied forces
when he
out.
was stabilized by then.
Yeah, and if you get that big fight, or just maybe that 20 seconds earlier, it's a 30-second delay on the upgrade. If you have it 30 seconds earlier, I think it's a really, really big help considering that he went into the fight with more supply than Hyun.
I also want to give a big shout out to that queen micro by Hyun.
Yes,
a couple of good transfusions and keeping the queens alive. Like, queens are not units that you can just throw into the battle and like go full Drago on them, Rocky 4. If they die, they die. No. They cannot die. You need them. You need them after the battle too. They can participate in the battle.
You need that larva, Roddy.
Yep. But you do need them injects. You need that larva.
And guess what both players are doing? Going for shark roaches, man. The burrow move. The burrow plays.
Good old Jaws. Do you remember Jaws in GoldenEye? He was so big.
Oh, yeah.
Such an easy target. It's like Jaws versus Ojob was the true first imbalance of professional gaming. It's like, alright, you know, I'm gonna pick Jaws because he was really cool in this one movie, and then like your friend picks Ojob. You're like, man, where am I getting shot from? This is unfair.
Your camera view is actually too high to be able to see where he is.
The Rimba. That is the first time.
We need to do a GoldenEye stream someday, Kev. I need to play this game. I need to get it out of my system.
That would be sick. That would be awesome.
It's been too long. So both players, let's see where everything stands. Hyun has actually done a really good job of recovering as far as the upgrades go. He's pretty much he's ahead right now. And what happened that this +2 Carapace didn't end up coming in for Revival? Yeah, Hyun should just stay ahead in upgrades for the rest of this game.
Wow.
Or at least for a good long while.
Has he been on single Evo throughout the entire game? I guess.
Yeah.
So why does he prefer +2 Carapace over +2 attack?
That's... No. No, Revival preferred the +2 attack over Carapace.
Yeah,
the attack upgrades are better.
Yeah, no, of course.
I'm just surprised
for a second, I
happened.
thought he didn't. I thought he got armor over attack. That's why I was so
Hyun
confused.
recovered so quickly because of the second evolution chamber.
I was very confused there. Hyun hoping for a good engagement. I kind of like that initial spread over there as well, Nate. And he has the better upgrades.
That Spinecrawler not having any impact in this fight. It's just barely out of range. Totally can't use it. And even though both players have this burrow, like with the Overseers here, he should be able to actually do anything with it. And this concave is too good for Hyun.
Yep, beautiful concave by Hyun. Beautiful bait as well early on. Just running around with these roaches, left, right. He's like, Revival, come at me. While he was the one with better upgrades. And this is a very...
He's like, well, now you can't make roaches anymore.
If I was him, I would get out of here for now, though, a little bit. This is actually kind of a tricky moment. All the reinforcements are spawning. If I was Hyun, I would just run back.
Wait for the next wave of roaches.
You know, let those units... join up with the initial forces and then just go again. Beautiful fight there by Hyun. Man, the way that he's just dancing and he's baiting, he's like, look at me, I can dance all day, I can dance all day. And then Revival's like, no you can't, and he tries to get the fight. And then Hyun is just like, ha, perfect concave. Got you where I want you.
Hyun's like, I actually can dance all day, thank you very much. Okay, I have a really good cardio routine. He's going to push into Revival's Roach Force, but with the supply that Hyun has, with all the reinforcements he has on the way, that fourth base, he should be able to just roll right on through all of this, and even cutting off the retreat path. He's like completely surrounded these roaches, giving them a big old hug before he vomits corrosive acid all over them.
Yep, very solid play over here by Hyun. And man, this guy just keeps on doing it. Of course, he's not qualified just yet for the Intel Extreme Masters Taipei, but he is starting to look very good as he takes a decisive 2-0 victory over Revival here in the second round of the open bracket. There's still a lot of roaches spawning left and right, but Hyun with a 60 supply advantage in ZVZ is still microing his roaches well. Man, Hyun is looking good. It really seemed like this small holiday period has done him well, Nate. This was not just good ZVZ,
yeah,
this was awesome ZVZ.
We've seen quite a few players at the start of 2015 look like they maybe took a bit too much time off. Hyun doesn't seem like it.
Hyun was like, man, I want holiday season to be over.
Hyun was
Christmas.
Like, it's like, Hyun, what do you want for Christmas? He's like, all I want for Christmas is you to stop bothering me, okay? Because I'm busy building roaches on my 8 Smurf accounts in Korean Grandmaster.
What I want for Christmas is 5 days to pass by, 2015 to start, and let me sign up for some damn tournaments. It is time. That was really that was just great play by Hyun.
That was solid, man. He got the first game basically just, he wrecked him with the Speedlink play, and sometimes you could say it's like coin flip maybe, but the second game, no denying that he just totally outplayed Revival.
Yep, had to make a pretty tough hold because Revival had a slightly better economy. Despite his hatch being a little bit later, he did make more drones because he was the one that opened up gasless.
Yes.
Nothing really happened up to that point, but of course Hyun going for 2 evos, and Revival started on 1, but of course Revival did started with those upgrades a little bit quick because he didn't make speedlinks and stuff. Revival was able to max out a little bit before Hyun. Hyun was able to just barely hang in there, using the queens, couple of good transfusions, microing those queens as well. And then the next fight, we said it, we made fun of it, where he's kind of dancing with the roaches. He's like, come at me, bro, come at me. And then like Revival walks into the bait. And
Revival walks into it and he's
gotcha.
Great bait.
Solid play by Hyun. Let's take a look at the open bracket real quick. See if we have some updates for you over here. The first day of the Intel Extreme Masters in Taipei. No upgrades of Jakji Linux. Nothing of Truva's Hero either. Impact has defeated Saxcree 2-0.
Not bad.
Sorky has defeated Haas 2-1. I'm not too shocked by that either. So one of my Protoss brothers has been eliminated. And in this, I actually have a lot of updates from my second dual tournament little bracket. I think we should jump to my screen real quick. See if it's updated over here as well. Let me just take a look. Refresh. F5. Recycle. Nate. Talk to me.
I mean, I'm waiting to see it, man. I can't talk about it if I don't know it.
Alright, this one is not as updated as the... Well, it's pretty updated. Let's just take a look at it. Cool.
Let's check it out.
You guys can, of course, find the results yourself at intelextrememasters.com or go to Liquipedia and then just click on the IEM tournament that's going on the right side. These are the results so far. Hyun is in the winner bracket final where he will play against either Ian or Snootman. Ian defeating Patience.
That's not bad. I mean, Patience has had a lot more foreign tournament experience, especially in the last year. Ian just getting, one WCS America stint in the last year?
Ian is, I mean, he did have those really sick games against Spock, didn't he?
Yeah.
That we were like just blown away by the absolute perfect engagements.
Yeah, those were actually
with Blinding Cloud and Fungo and stuff. Anyways, loser bracket round 1, Czech versus Dongregu. That's a pretty big ZVZ, and then we also have Patience going up against Daisy. That's a pretty cool PvP. A lot of Zergs in the winner bracket, Nate. It's going to be ZVZ between Ian and Snoot. They will probably play on the main stream, and then the winner will go up against Hyun. Snoot versus Hyun, that's a true classic as well. Man, these Zergs and all their MLs attending every single tournament, making the life hard of my poor Protoss brothers out there. My Protoss brothers, I should say.
It's a tough life. It's a tough life. Interested to see how.
We have Hero versus Impact next, so that probably means that Hero has lost against. Who was he playing again?
True,
I just had the
right?
Yeah, man, True. True has proved me wrong so far. Well, you know what they say, Nate.
True's my pick for the bracket. I told you, man.
Even
it's
a wise man is wrong once in a while.
So what does that make me if I said True would win?
Well, you know what they say.
I just get lucky?
Beginner's luck. Alright, we're gonna hop over to a very small commercial break, and after that we'll be back with more action of the Intel Extreme Masters Taipei Day 1.